There's a component called VA math. I'm gonna try to keep it simple as possible when we're talking about VA math, but it is a mechanism that is put in place, unfortunately, to blockade veterans from receiving the higher level of disability benefits. What it is, let's say, again, you are granted 50% disability. But now let's say you're increased by 20%. You and I would believe 50 plus 20, 70%, right? Simple math. But now what the VA does, they're going to take that 20% and apply it to your remaining healthy body percentage of 50%. And when they do that, they actually take a percentage amongst a percentage. So actually getting the higher level of benefits, it's a very difficult metric that you have to put in place and actually kind of navigate it. But there's also federal laws that are put in place that actually assist you as well, such as the bilateral factor. We want to know how to unlock VA benefits, right? There's always so much aloof information that's provided. With this aloof information that's provided, a lot of times it's all about hearsay, or quote unquote, as Navy personnel say, scuttlebutt talk, right? No one actually knows how to access the benefits and how to maximize the benefits and how it's going to serve you. So that's what we want to talk about today. All right. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that we kind of speed this up a little bit because we are a little bit behind. However, I want to make sure you get all the valuable information. So the agenda that's going to be present today, we're going to be speaking about, again, introduction to VA benefits, understanding VA benefits, and understanding the VA home loan benefit, which again, that's huge there. When we talk about the VA home loan benefit, it is literally one of the most powerful mortgage tools on the market. I am not going to be the one that tells you about it. Let me tell you, we have a fabulous loan officer, Miss Rachel. She's going to give you all the ins and outs, ups and downs of how that goes. But want to make sure you guys are really, really informed of that. And also the Las Vegas real estate overview on how, again, Las Vegas presents itself in regards to real estate, all right? We do have some agents in the building, so I'm sure you guys already know. But again, it's always great to chime in and give us more information. So with that, first and foremost, I want to tell you about Veterans for Veterans, right? Veterans for Veterans. Veterans for Veterans is a military disability consulting organization that actually assists veterans in regards to increasing and maximizing and establishing benefits, all right? And when I mean maximizing, that's just what I mean, maximizing your benefits for your case file, right? Everyone always come with the whole regime, hey, I want 100%, hey, I want 100%, how can I get 100%? Well, everyone is not gonna get 100%, let's just be frank, right? However, we can put you on a pathway to try to get you 100%, but 9 times out of 10, if we had put you on a scale that's gonna probably get you that increase, that's what's gonna happen. Last year in 2023, we had an average rating percentage of 92% on the personnel that we assisted, all right? And that's in regards to VA disability compensation. But we'll talk a little bit more about the scale, right? We'll talk a little bit more about the scale a little bit later. Also, when I mean maximizing benefits, I want you guys to understand it does not only mean disability compensation, it also means healthcare benefits, right? Education benefits, VA home loan real estate services, right? Just an array of benefits that's offered to you. There are federal and state benefits that are offered to you. Most people are concerned about what? VA compensation. There was over $40 million left on the table of unused benefits that would remain in the VA that was allocated in 2023. As we know, we all know our government, right? If the funds are not utilized, what happens? They are allocated elsewhere. Why don't us as veterans receive those benefits? And when I mean us, I mean me as well, okay? Again, I did 3 deployments. Operation Iraqi Freedom, Enduring Freedom. I served in the USS Ronald Reagan, served there for many years. Again, great, the double R we call it, great ship, again, great leadership. We was able to travel the world, see the world, and frankly, do our job and complete our mission, right? So with that, I'm sure you guys have as well. So with that, we want you to be able to access your benefits that you deserve, all right? But now with that being said, so we originated in Washington, D.C., actually relocated to San Diego, California, and now being able to travel the country to be able to teach veterans in regards to their benefits, all right? All aspects of benefits, as I just mentioned. But when we talk about benefits, I want you to know there are also ancillary benefits that are associated with other agencies, right? Social Security, right? We talk about Social Security all the time. Questions like, well, does your Social Security affect your VA benefits and vice versa? Well, no, but I can guarantee you there is someone out there that said, hey, if you have VA benefits, if you have the VA compensation benefits, it's gonna affect your Social Security. Well, frankly, no, it does not. No, it does not. And because there's two different agencies that are warranting these benefits. They are not together, all right? So with that, Veterans for Veterans, we're gonna make sure that it's a more or less a white glove service that we're gonna get you from step A to step Z, okay? We're gonna go through the full entire course of the process with you, filling out all documentation with you. You're gonna have your own personalized case manager, all right? So again, we'll get into that a little bit later in regards to how we're gonna be able to serve you, but we wanna focus on the education. We wanna focus on the education, but we are here to support throughout the entire time frame. I do want you to understand that of the nation currently at the moment, there's a give or take about 20 million veterans. There's a give or take about 20 million veterans, okay? There was a huge decrease in our veteran population during COVID. No one actually talks about it, right? We have our Gulf War veterans, our Vietnam veterans that suffered from severe Agent Orange exposure, which affects their respiratory systems. What did COVID affect? Our respiratory system, and attacked our respiratory systems. A lot of those men and women were a little bit older. So we had a large decrease in our veteran population during that time frame. Unfortunate. It's unfortunate. However, those heroes will never get the light that they deserve, right? So we want to make sure that we take a moment as, again, a unified veteran community to take that honor and make sure that we recognize them, right? But with that, I want you to know that, again, those 20 million veterans, there's about 200,000 that get out of service every single year. There's about 200,000 that get out of service every single year, okay, that on an annual basis. As of 2023, there are only 32% of veterans who are receiving their benefits. There are only 32% of veterans who are receiving their benefits, okay? And that's specifically a statistic from the Department of Veterans Affairs and the Census Bureau. Okay, from the Department of Veterans Affairs and the Census Bureau. So we understand that there's a huge gap. There's a huge gap. So what we want to do is make sure that we bridge that gap to the veteran and their benefits. So this is what we're here to do. This is what we're here to do. We're here to support, okay, at all times. But also, I want you to also understand that there's about 5.3 million veterans who are accessing their benefits, but there's an estimated rate of 72% of veterans who are rated too low, okay? We don't actually know how many are rated too low, okay? And reason being is because there needs to be a special benefit officer that analyzes your military service, your deployments, your service medical records, your personnel file, to be able to see if you are currently rated too low. How do we know if you're rated too low? The accessible changes in laws that transpire on a regular basis. August 2022, the Biden administration has introduced something called the PAC Act. Have you guys heard of that, the PAC Act? The PAC Act was a huge reform, okay? It was a huge reform of how Desert Storm and Gulf War veterans access presumptive benefits. Presumptive benefits, okay? We're gonna go over what is presumptive benefits as well, all right? But with that being said as well, I do want you to understand that those presumptive benefits, no one talks about the healthcare access that has been provided. The healthcare access that has been provided. They have opened the doors for more veterans to be able to receive healthcare from the VA. And in 4 days, approximately 4 days from now, March 5th, legislation was put in place that if you were deployed, you will have access to VA healthcare, okay? If you were deployed in Southwest Asia, hazardous duty area, you are able to be able to receive health care. That is the bare minimum. Before, it must reach qualification criteria. Certain income amount, were you deployed, certain instances, is it a transition directly from DOD to VA? There were so many criteria aspects that they took into account which denied veterans health care. That is the bare minimum standpoint that we should be able to receive, right? Being exposed to Agent Orange, asbestos, lead, lead-based paint. There's so many different aspects about that, and that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that we get those accessible benefits. And again, please write this down. That is March 5th. As of March 5th, the VA will be allowable of veterans to be able to receive health care benefits. So if you are not signed up, please go sign up immediately, okay? As you know, just like I know, healthcare is insanely expensive, insanely expensive. So make sure you guys sign up, all right? And again, if you need assistance any type of way, any type of, website address, and also paperwork, I'll make sure you guys get that before you leave. Now, what type of benefits are we going to talk about? As I mentioned before, disability compensation, education benefits, education and training benefits. I want to talk about that caveat there. Healthcare benefits, home loans, burial benefits, and dependents and survivors benefits. Dependents and survivors benefits, okay? This is just a few. This is just a few, all right? We're going to get into details amongst those, but I also want to focus on what you guys are here for, what you guys are here for. So don't be afraid to ask any questions. Please don't be afraid to ask any questions. The looming question, what is disability compensation? What it is, you guys, and again, I want to break it down again. What it is specifically a monetary benefit. It is a monetary benefit that is offered to veterans who served our country, who has obtained any type of mental ailment, physical ailment, or disease that transpire in the military service. There's a huge caveat to that. We talked about presumptive benefits, correct? Presumptive issues. It does not only need to transpire in the military service to be service connected. It does not only need to transpire in military service to be service connected to be able to receive a rating disability so you can be able to receive higher compensation, okay? But most people don't know that. Most veterans don't know that, all right? But now the amount of benefit is going to be based on the severity of injury and also the considerable loss, But now it must be navigated within the VA regulations, rules, updated directives, and federal laws. This is why veterans are denied on a constant and consistent basis. Most veterans are, again, how are you going to navigate something that you don't know about? You're never going to win. You're never going to win without support. Okay? So now with that said as well, the actual benefits, they range from 10% all the way to 100% in 10% increments. 10% all the way to 100% in 10% increments. Now with that, I want you to understand there's also something called VA math. There's a component called VA math. I'm going to try to keep it simple as possible when we're talking about VA math, but it is a mechanism that is put in place, unfortunately, to blockade veterans from receiving the higher level of disability benefits. What it is, let's say, again, you are granted 50% disability, okay? The VA looks at your body as a total 100% efficiency rating. But now you're granted 50% disability, right? They're going to subtract 50% of your 100% disability rating, leaving a positive remainder of 50%, right? Great. But now let's say you're increased by 20%. You and I would believe 50 plus 20, 70%, right? Simple math. But now what the VA does is they're going to take that 20% and apply it to your remaining healthy body percentage of 50%. And when they do that, they actually take a percentage amongst a percentage because it's not based upon 100% efficiency rating. So now instead of getting 70%, you actually get 60. And if you want to go 70 to 8 or 60 to 70, you may need another 30% to get that, right? And so on and so forth. So get to 70 to 80, you may need 50% to get there. So actually getting the higher level of benefits is very difficult. It's a very difficult metric that you have to put in place and actually kind of navigate it. But there's also federal laws that are put in place that actually assist you as well, such as the bilateral factor. And what the bilateral factor is this. If I've injured one knee and I have 10% rated on one knee, and then I injured my left knee as well, and I get both of them service connected in service, now I have two lower extremities that are affected. And now they're going to give me an extra percentage, okay, to get to the next higher available percentage rating.